Do you know why we don't have that many Egyptian mummies left in the world? Because we ate them. Pull up a chair and let's talk about the history of mumia. If you were to step inside a 16th century apothecary anywhere in Europe or the Middle East, you might find blue glass vials, brass scales, and jars labeled mumia. Inside would be a brown-black powder scraped off of an Egyptian mummy. Physicians of the time would prescribe it for bruises, bleeding, flux, and even plague. Wealthy patrons would swallow it as a daily tonic, and surgeons would spread it all over wounds. And even though this totally sounds like fiction, it definitely isn't. I wish I was kidding. The term mumia comes from Arabic, referring to a bitumen and asphalt mixture, combined with resinous embalming material scraped off of a mummy. Arabic mumia would long be used in Near Eastern remedies, eventually influencing European buyers. And with the influx of European coin, the buying and selling of Egyptian mummies would become a serious trade by the Middle Ages. If you're thinking, ew, and also why? Well, Egyptian mummies were so well preserved that medieval people believed that the burial materials must be medicinal, making any preserved flesh also medicinal. Keep in mind, not all mumia was created equally. Scammers would sell you a pitch and resin mixture and blame its lack of efficacy on your personal constitution. From the 15 to 1700s, mumia is such a hot commodity that dealers in Alexandria and Cairo sell wrapped bodies by the bale. And it wouldn't just be apothecaries and crackpot physicians that are trying to sell this stuff to the public. Mumia brown would become a very popular form of pigment that most art studios in Europe would buy by the drum. The pigment was most especially prized for its ability to accentuate flesh tones. Naturally, this extremely disgusting and disturbing product would wreak untold havoc on the Egyptian mummy population and seriously hamper the ability of archaeologists to help catalog and detail human history in Egypt. It would also lead to some pretty shitty science, which assumed that bitumen was the main ingredient in embalming processes, when that honor actually belongs to natron salt, various plant oils and resins, beeswax, and animal fat. Bitumen would only be a major ingredient in later mummies, created during the Greek and Roman periods. Even though the consumption of mumia was very popular in Europe for a long time, that isn't to say it wasn't without its skeptics. Physician Ambroise Paré called it dangerous nonsense, and Sir Thomas Browne quipped in 1658 that Europeans were making mummies merchandise. Thankfully, with the onset of medical science in the 18th and 19th centuries, the use of mumia finally went out of fashion. But the damage had already been done. The impacts of this frankly gross and erroneous habit has deeply impacted modern Egyptology to the point that it's done more harm than even time. After all, much of what we understand about the ancient world comes from mummies like these. How we lived, how we ate, what the environment was like, how long we lived, the diseases that we carried. The answers to all of these questions are found in these wrappings. So maybe let this be a lesson to us about pseudoscience. If it sounds like snake oil, it probably is. Maybe in more ways than you know.